The first way that we need to handle that is to improve the universal appeal that Easton is a place to come to establish businesses. We've done very little of that. I see neighboring jurisdictions like St. Michael's and stuff saying, hey, look, come to St. Michael's, look what we've got. I don't think we take advantage of the things and the culture we have here to encourage that. And I think we need to work more with business communities who have expressed interest in coming here.
I think that we have a tremendous asset in our community itself, and this is something that we should stress more in order to attract businesses with good jobs here. We can't just continue to get minimum wage jobs in and trade one business for another business. We need to have opportunities for our children as they graduate from our school system to come back here if they'd like to. I appreciated the fact that I had that opportunity, but I hear from so many people that their children do not. They'd like to move back, but there is no job for them. They go away to college, for example, and those types of jobs are in the more higher metropolitan areas. We can do a better job, I think, of attracting them. There are incentives that can be built in, and we've used them in the past to get certain businesses here in terms of tax breaks and deferrals and so forth. But I think our primary asset is what we have. Where are you going to find a town like this with an Academy of the Arts as great as it is, and with Avalon Theater operating, and with the Historical Society that does a tremendous job? With you want to play golf? My goodness, there's so many places. There's a public course, private courses all over the place. Your kids want to play ice hockey. How many places can you do that? Well, you can do it here. You can even take up curling if you know what it is. We just have tremendous assets, and I don't think we talk about them enough. But I think I've talked enough.
I think it's really not marketed as much as it should be, is the fact that Easton ranks in the top 100 small towns favorable to live in the United States. That's something to build on. That's something to attract businesses by. Why is it so attractive? Just visit here and you'll see the downtown area and the charm of the town of Easton. Aside from that, given that, it's aggressive campaigns by the development committees going forth out into advertising, reaching out to companies, actually recruiting them personally to come in and visit Easton and see what we have to offer. You have to do that business by business by business. It's not something you put out a blanket and expect and they all will come. You have to target what is out there and approach them and sell them on our town and the community. That's critical. That's the best way that I can see of bringing new businesses to town.
You know, if we don't know why people don't stay or businesses don't stay, we cannot hope to rectify the situation that we have. Now, to me, we need an audit. I've said this before, an audit of the businesses, of the economic streams that are available. And then we have an economic development officer for Talbot County. We have an economic development officer for Easton, or we did announce a commission. We have a tourism director who was supposed to bring the economy up by attracting businesses and people who are interested in tourism. And so what's not working? And so we don't know. All I know is that money is being spent for each of these areas that I have discussed. I think it's a duplication of services and without any good results. So my concern is that when we bring people in, what do they want? If we haven't done any surveys, incidentally, I did contact the tourism department to find out what kind of surveys are you doing to find out what people want. You know, what do they like, what don't they like. And I was really rather astounded that at least in the last few years, it seems that has not been done. Also, there is no transportation in the area for people who want to get around the region or just around town. You know, if you don't have an automobile, you cannot travel freely throughout the town. I mean, everybody can't walk and everybody doesn't want to ride a bike. You know, so there should be some circular, you know, transportation that goes around. I mean, if we shave off some of these funds from some of the salaries I've seen, we'd be able to pay somebody to drive a bus around the town rather frequently.
Thank you. In my role in the Chamber of Commerce, I represent 800 members. I've worked on the Economic Development Commission for 15 years and the Tourism Commission. And I'll take you back to 2000 when I came here. In 2000, we couldn't find labor. Black & Decker was importing people from Philadelphia, and there were a number of other companies that were bringing people in from all over the Eastern Shore and from the Western Shore. I'm a graduate of the Economic Development Institute at Norman, Oklahoma, and did economic development for 18 years in South Dakota, Nebraska, and Kansas, which included going to trade shows, targeting businesses by SIC codes, and going and meeting with them. There hasn't been an active program in Talbot County to actually go out and seek businesses until recently, and that is happening. The other thing is, it's a labor pool issue, and you need to have the right labor matched with the right businesses. Furthermore, the town of Easton has gone out of their way recently to work with a number of companies that were going to leave and to provide them with assistance to get them on water and sewer. We all talk about wanting to keep this a small town. We all want to keep the nature of the town. So what we need to do is we need to work on small businesses. We don't need mega companies. We don't need another Black & Decker. But we do need 10, 20, or 50 companies coming to town. And our goal should be to help them, and when they come to town, to be friendly, to make sure that the building process is good, and that they can get in and they feel welcome.
I'm sure you've all seen over the last several months the ads from New York State, Tennessee, Kentucky, where if you move your business to our state, you get 10 years free taxes and what have you, and any other incentives that they might have. In the last year, we've had at least 4 businesses in the town of Easton that have opted to move somewhere else because of the low taxes and the incentives that they were being offered. This amounted to several hundred jobs that we just couldn't see leaving the town. These are not entry-level jobs. A lot of them require degrees. A lot of them require advanced education and so forth. So for the first time ever, the town, the county, and the state were able to work together to put a package together to keep these businesses in town. And we do have them in town now. Some of them, one I can tell you right now is hiring 75 people. In the next 2 years. That's part of the agreement. And these people will require advanced degrees and what have you to perform the jobs that are being set up. We also have been in contact with the Board of Education, the new school superintendent, to talk about changes in the curriculum that we can help prepare some of our students to take these jobs, and what can the schools do. And at the same time, we get with the school board to talk about affordable housing for teachers, new teachers that are just starting out in the county. So we're working in that respect too. But there are efforts underway to keep businesses in the town, keep the jobs flowing, keep quality jobs coming in, working with the school board, working with the economic development people to keep improving the lot of life that we have.
I have some fresh ideas. I think all of those things are really good. But there are 2 underutilized resources that exist in Easton and Talbot County and elsewhere. One is there's a huge internet pipe that Easton Utilities has control over, and that can be used to draw technology companies in. The second thing is that there's a lot of talented executives who live in this county who would volunteer their time and efforts to incubate new businesses that could create better jobs for more people. All the other things are fine. I'm glad they've gone along for a while, but there are different ways of doing things. 22 years in Seattle, I learned there are different ways of doing things. Thank you.